So here's the question. Do you build a road into a remote community, or do you help those people relocate somewhere safer? It sounds like a simple choice, but it's really a fork in the road with life or death consequences. Let's get into why.
Just imagine this for a second. What if getting your sick child to a doctor meant you had to walk for 2 straight days? Now, for millions of people around the world, that's not a hypothetical. It's their reality, and that's really the heart of the problem we're unpacking today.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the incredible promise of what a simple road can do. Then we'll dig into the data that shows the impact. But then there's the other side of the coin, the peril when nature fights back. From there, we'll explore 2 very different paths forward, and we'll end with the final and most difficult question of all.
Okay, so first up, why is this even a debate? Well, for communities that are basically cut off from the rest of the world, a new road isn't just a convenience. It's seen as this powerful, almost magical lifeline.
And the idea behind it is pretty straightforward, but it's incredibly powerful. A road isn't just about pavement. It's a connection. It's a path to better schools, to doctors and clinics, to new jobs. It's seen as the absolute key to breaking that cycle of isolation and poverty. Yeah, but it's not just a nice idea on paper. Let's actually look at the hard evidence, because the numbers coming out of these projects are, well, they're genuinely transformative.
So check this out. In India, there was this massive rural road program connecting over 100,000 villages. And the result? Within just 3 years of a road being built, middle school enrollment shot up by 7%. Think about that. That's thousands of kids getting an education their parents could only dream of.
And it's not a one-off. We see the same kind of amazing ripple effect over in Peru. Their road program boosted school enrollment too. But look at this. It also cut travel times in half and led to a 55% jump in visits to the health center. When you build that road, access to everything changes. And the benefits just keep stacking up. In Bangladesh, new roads meant it was cheaper for families to get around. Farm wages for men went up by 27%. And more kids, both boys and girls, started going to school. And this is huge. Women reported feeling safer to travel. That's a game changer.
Okay, but this next part is what I find really fascinating. Roads don't just help people get out to find services, they bring the services in. Look at this data from China. As they expanded their road network, the number of doctors and nurses working in the area just surged. You build it, and the talent will come.
All right, so far, it sounds like a no-brainer, right? Just build the road.
But this is where the story gets a whole lot more complicated, because all that undeniable progress we just saw can come at a devastating cost. Sometimes nature fights back. Hard.
And that's the real kicker here. That simple, perfect solution, the one that seems to fix everything, can, in the wrong place, actually trigger an absolute catastrophe. And this isn't some abstract risk. Look at what just happened in Hualien. This is what a geologically fragile zone means in the real world. A landslide dam gives way. Minutes later, a wall of water, mud, and rocks comes roaring down the mountain. And just hours after that, a whole part of the township is just underwater. It's a terrifying, real-world reminder of the stakes. And what happened there? It's a perfect example of these hidden costs. Every time you cut a road into a hillside, you risk destabilizing the slopes, you can cause erosion that poisons the water that people drink, and you slice up natural habitats. These aren't just vague environmental worries, these are real dangers to the very people the roads are supposed to help. So, what's the answer? It feels like we're stuck, right? Well, the truth is, it's not about a simple yes or no to building. It's about being way, way smarter and realizing that the solution for one place could be a disaster in another. So path number 1 is to just build smarter. This means thinking about the road's entire life. You start with a plan. Where are you going to put this thing? Let's avoid the really fragile spots from the get-go. Then you design it right, thinking about drainage, wildlife, the whole 9 yards. Then you build it using low-impact techniques. And this is the one everyone forgets, you have to have a plan and the money to maintain it for the long haul. And one of those cool low-impact techniques is something called bioengineering. Basically, instead of fighting nature with tons of concrete, you work with it. You use things like living plants and roots to hold slopes together. We've seen it work incredibly well in places like Nepal, creating structures that prevent the very landslides we're worried about. But what if an area is just too dangerous? Well, that brings us to the second path, helping people relocate to safer ground. This chart lays out the choice really clearly.
Building smarter is the answer for stable areas. But in those super high-risk, fragile zones, the number one goal isn't about access anymore. It's about keeping people alive. And this is a really important shift in perspective. Helping a community move out of a danger zone, that's not failure. It's the opposite. It's a proactive, courageous choice that puts human life and a truly sustainable future first.
Okay, so after all that, the incredible data, the terrifying disasters, the different solutions, it all boils down to one final and really tough question.
Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about asphalt and geology. It's about culture, identity, and home. How do you balance that deep spiritual connection people have to their ancestral land with their basic human right to have a safe future for their children? There's no single easy answer, and it really forces us to ask what progress truly means.